Now it's my honor to be introducing Dr. Brian DeGangi, Clinical Assistant Professor of Shelter Medicine at the University of Florida's College of Veterinary Medicine. Dr. DeGangi is board certified with the American Board of Veterinary Practitioners in Canine and Feline Practice, completed a 3-year residency in shelter animal medicine, was the co-founder of the University of Florida's student chapter of the Association of Shelter Veterinarians, and serves as a member of the board of directors of the Association of Shelter Veterinarians. During his student years, he regularly volunteered at the county animal shelter, organized spay-neuter wet labs for students, participated in Operation Catnip for community cats, and fostered animals for local rescue organizations. His research focuses include cleaning and disinfection in animal shelters, high-quality, high-volume spay-neuter techniques, and enhancing the welfare of shelter animals. This webcast is part of a series marking the launch of Maddie's Institute, a program of Maddie's Fund, which is the nation's leading funder of shelter medicine education. Our commitment to supporting shelter medicine grew out of our belief that in order to reach our goal of saving all our nation's healthy and treatable shelter dogs and cats, we needed a strong group of veterinary professionals trained to keep shelter pets healthy and to rehabilitate those who are not. Saving those dogs and cats is the fulfillment of a promise made by Maddie's Fund's founders, Dave and Cheryl Duffield, to honor the love brought into their lives by their miniature schnauzer, Maddie. They chose to memorialize her by creating a charitable foundation that would make this country a safe and loving place for all her kind. I want to thank Dr. DeGangi and every one of you here this evening for being part of fulfilling the promise the Duffields made to Maddie. Please use what you learn here tonight to help make the dream she inspired a reality. Dr. DeGangi, welcome, and thank you so much for being here with us tonight.
Thank you, Dr. Peak, and thank you all for joining us tonight. We have quite a variety of audience members out there. I know that there are some pet owners as well as veterinarians and everybody with various levels of expertise in the animal field in between. And so with that in mind, we're going to cover a variety of topics tonight related to intaking of animals into the shelter environment. And I've chosen a few select areas that I'm going to focus on a little bit more heavily. I've chosen areas that tend to be areas of confusion or areas that people tend to have a lot of questions about. I've also selected quite a number of resources, and I'm going to point them out as we go through the presentation. I really strongly encourage you to take a look at those resources at some point as we go along or after the fact. Use a lot of web links there that you can download documents from. That's really going to supplement some of the information that you'll hear tonight. So if there's something you want a little bit more detail on, please go ahead and make use of those resources. So with that, we'll go over a couple brief objectives for this presentation. Now you had a more detailed list in your registration materials, and we will cover all the things that are mentioned in those materials. But really, to sum it up, I hope that everybody will learn how to use the first 60 minutes of an animal's time in the shelter to really maximize their chances of a live release. And we've called this presentation the critical hour, and it really is. There are things that you can do and things that if you don't do when the animals first come into the shelter will really impact their success while they're in your care and their ability to have a live release. And I hope, as a second objective, I hope that you'll be able to create a comprehensive written intake protocol for your organization when you're done with this presentation, or at least that it'll serve as a nice guideline for you going forward. If you already have a protocol that's written, perhaps you can go back and fill in a couple of the gaps and add some details into that. So as a brief outline of the presentation, we'll talk about a variety of topics which I kind of lumped together under the heading of intake planning. So a bunch of background information that you'll need to know if you're going to create a nice sound intake protocol for your shelter. And then we'll discuss some specific medical health concerns that you'll need to be aware of. We'll talk about behavioral health concerns. And finally, documentation and communication of all the things that you found throughout the intake process. And most of the time is going to be spent on intake planning and medical health sections. It's not to say that the others are any less important, but they're the ones that are going to require a little bit more explanation for us at this stage in the presentation. So there is a more detailed outline in the resources as well, so feel free to follow along with that.